Hey, how you doing? The November 20th Apex Environmental Advisory Board meeting to order. I'd like to start off by welcoming two new members. We finally have our youth member here. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself to the board and let us know your interest in serving on the board?
Hi, my name is Loni Joshi. I go to Green Level High School. I'm a junior. I'm interested in serving the board because I just want to be part of our local community, and also I'm interested in pursuing a career in environmental science in the future.
Excellent. Welcome aboard. Also, Sandra, same questions.
Yeah, my name is Sandra. I would say a lot of my background is actually nature education. So working a lot with kids to adults, from stream bank repair to salamanders. So I have a lot of interests, and I applied to the board because I love combining community outreach and environmental education. So I want to see more of that work.
Excellent, great, well, welcome. And also, Councilmember Grant's last meeting with us, yes. So
I'm very proud to have been part of this board being established, and you guys have really evolved, I think, in an amazing way that it was hard to even know how it's going to turn out when we established you guys. So thank you for serving Apex and the community and the earth, I guess, in this case, and keep up the great work.
thank you, and we appreciate your insights and input to the board over the years, and wish you luck with the copious amounts of free time you're about to have.
It's been an honor.
Okay, so the first item is the approval of the October 7th minutes. There were some last minute edits to the minutes. Did everybody see those?
Yes.
Okay, great. So is there a motion to approve the October 7th meeting minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Sean?
I'll second.
And Jerry second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. John is abstaining, but so the motion carries. Okay. So I just want to point out, I did have a discussion with the clerk about this, and evidently, whether you were present at the meeting or not, you have a duty to vote to approve.
I vote to approve.
Okay. So unanimously approved. All right, next item is the October 16th meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve those?
I move they be approved.
John? Okay. Second, Mark. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries. Next up, announcements. Nora?
Yeah, two really great announcements I'm happy to share. The first one is that the town of Apex has been selected for the Show Your Park Some Love recycling grant. It's through the National Recreation and Parks Association, not the actual NPS, different organization. But this was an act between me and a couple other staff members in town, across departments. I'm really glad that we could get this off the ground. It's a $10,000 grant for recycling, and it's supposed to be either to start a recycling program in parks or enhance one that you already have. And the town already does have recycling bins in parks, so we're going to use the money to buy Clearstream recycling containers for use at special events. So these will be designated for any special event that we have in town. We're going to do a whole social media and outreach and education campaign around it, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an awesome initiative. And then the next announcement is that our environmental leadership webpage is finally online. I just got the message. Let me talk to this mic. So our environmental leadership webpage is online. It is on the main Town of Apex website. If you click on services, it should be right the first thing under the services tab, and anything in town that is environmental related, sustainability, water resources, environmental programs, it's all going to be housed on this website. So that's open and ready now for the public to use. And when we have events in the future, we're going to post links there for signups. So I'm really excited that that's finally online and ready to go.
That's amazing. Did you design that, or was it a collaborative effort?
You can move that if you want. No, so communications, our team here in town designed the webpage, but Dawn Reeves, our sustainability coordinator, and I worked on the actual content. But it was a big collaboration between a bunch of people, so glad that it's finally up.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I had a question. So going back to the grant, is like every penny of that accounted for? The reason I'm asking is quite some time ago, Mr. Jensen had brought up putting additional stickers or indicators on the garbage cans at the parks because people were putting trash and recycling and vice versa.
It's not all accounted for yet. I mean, I think a majority of the money will be spent on the containers because we do want to get, more than just 3 each or whatever. But I don't think it's all accounted for yet, so we can definitely look into that. And I'll take a note now to bring back to the group.
Stickers are not that expensive.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
I did talk with the head of the Parks Department, and he told me that they had a grant to design their own recycling stickers.
Oh, so
And
a
that was
different grant?
that was a year. Yeah, it was some time ago. It was a year ago, and I keep looking for the new recycling stickers, and I haven't seen them.
Well, I'll ask about that because I wasn't aware of that. But that would be awesome if we could, combine forces and
I actually
stickers
got
on
some stickers and put them on there to see how long it would take,
yeah,
and it took like 2 minutes to put the stickers on.
yeah.
And I bought 4 of them. I think it was $8. But then he said that the park department had decided to design their own.
I don't know.
You might check that out.
Yeah, I'll check into that.
I'd be interested to know what happened,
Yeah, me too.
because I ride my bicycle around these things, and I make a point of wondering where in the heck are all these stickers.
Yeah, where are the stickers at? I'll look into that. Yeah, I haven't heard of that, so that's good to know.
Okay, excellent. So any other questions or comments for Nora about either of those items? All right, both are excellent news. All right, next up we have a guest speaker, Philip Barnes.
And good to see you. Bill, how you doing, buddy?
And I wrote Philip, but it's really going to be a combined effort between the both of us. So before you jump in, Philip, do you mind? How can I make this bigger?
I know. I realized I forgot my glasses on the way over here.
Is that better?
That's better.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, for the sake of the new members, the EAB has been tasked by Town Council to look into some ordinance updates that we can do regarding trees and tree preservation. So we've been working on this kind of off and on for a couple months now. And this past week or two, I've really kind of started to take a deeper dive into hearing some of y'all's suggestions to think about, okay, well, what can we present to council? So they would like to hear suggestions by February, by their retreat. So we're trying to think now ahead of time, get ready, whatever you guys think you would like to suggest to them. And I asked Philip to come today because if you don't know, he is our town arborist. And we had a conversation where he had mentioned that, I guess in the past when the tree cap committee was still active, you worked with Mary, right? Yeah, to kind of go ahead and think about this. So I guess that was already kind of in motion in the background.
Yeah, we went pretty deep on it, and we didn't know really how to. Oh, sorry. We really went pretty deep on it, researching stuff, and we come up with a plan. And Apex needs to start taking their older trees a little bit more serious, and we need to start with the historical district, and we really need to treat our trees different in the historical district. We, on the electric side, we trim the trees different in the historical district. We don't go get the maximum clearance because we know that we're treating older trees. I get nervous talking. So we'll always get the minimum, and Apex is very fortunate to have, let's see, 4 arborists that are educated in the growth of the tree rates, this, that, and the other. Like if we go trim a historical willow oak, we know that it's going to grow faster, but we also put that historical tree in a, what we call a circuit breaker trim. We'll come back earlier to do it. So we always look at the historical towns trees different. And I just think Apex, we need to, if somebody lives in the historical district and they want a tree removed, well, they need to have a certified arborist fill out paperwork of the assessment that he done, hand it in to us, and then we will look at the tree assessment he done to see if he wants to remove a limb, we need to know why he needs to remove a limb. If he wants to take a tree down, we need to know why. And it has to fall under a category that the town agrees on before you can just take a tree down. And I'm to the point of where you don't remove a tree if it's over 6 inches DBH, so you're talking something like that. For the simple fact, you might have an old dogwood, old red bud, something that somebody's grandma might have planted that ain't but this big, but it's, you know, it's old. So we always like to start in historical districts. And that's where we was. We was on that, and we want to know if we got champion trees, we got historical trees. The big oak tree out here beside the ATM was the first tree that we actually kind of saved. And it's a heritage to Apex, so we need a little assistance on people on understanding how to file for heritage trees, how to file for champion trees. Okie over here, huge tree. And I think it's second in the state, I think is what the forester said.
You're talking about the one on Hunter Street?
Yeah.
Is everybody familiar with Okie? Okay, it's in between Salem and Bauckham Elementary School, and if you're coming from Salem on Hunter Street towards Bauckham, it'll be on your right-hand side. It's got a big ribbon around it. It's an enormous oak tree.
Yeah, it had some bad damage to it just from being that old. But it had fit the urban compatible to a T. I just got back from a class on how to treat planted trees for future urban compatible. That's a new word to me. So we treat them to where they would grow in the city to promote what the urban environment puts out is what we would do. And we need to keep eyes out for that. We need to make sure that our trees are getting planted correctly. I'm not saying that we don't overlook it, but when you're a stickler like me that's always eyeballing trees, you can see that. I know Apex is getting better with their developers planting trees. I've seen the difference from the volcanic mulch down to some stuff. But I don't know if I'm answering the question we need, but I just know for our canopy, we need to preserve the old trees. And we're planting 234 trees this year also, like we did last year for the citizens. Am I missing anything here?
No, I guess what we can do is kind of go over really quick some of the ideas that were circulated in some past meetings. The one thing I feel like we keep coming back to is hiring some kind of urban forester or transitioning your role into mainly doing urban forestry, because I do think that there's enough work that could be done for one person. Like,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you go. You had something.
I would like, if possible, I'd like to know all the trees that the town owns, street trees, and in the old neighborhoods, the trees we own. There's one off of Mason Street. Kathy's her name, can't remember her last name. They're actually town trees, but they're huge, they're big, and I'd like to know all trees that the town has. I can monitor them, do drive-bys just to see, if we need to stop and take a look at them. There's a good future for Apex to hold on to a lot of their older trees where we stand right now. From just, down for about 13 years, I've seen it. We can do it.
You were talking a minute ago about, in the historic district, about getting approval for tree removal.
Mm-hmm.
Is that required now?
No.
Okay, you want that to be required?
Yeah.
And okay.
And it's not nothing new. When I was in contract, I worked in the inner city of Raleigh. And when you went into their historical districts, you was followed. And you didn't get nothing worked on your own property unless a certified arborist said it needed to be worked on. So I'm kind of just mimicking where I've been.
Right.
And when you see old trees that get removed because somebody's like afraid of something,
they're afraid they're gonna fall on the house.
Right.
That's.
And that's when
what we get.
people like me would come in and be like, well, we do an assessment on it, I'm qualified to do tree risk assessments. And this machine right here, excuse me, too nervous to drink water, lets us know the inner decay of the tree.
Right.
This is a resistograph. Has anybody ever heard of one? I'll show you one whenever we get them there. I'll put it up. This is I was told to register this with the police and nobody called me. So if somebody says, I think this tree is decaying, dying, it's scaring me, it's been here forever. This falls off. This is the needle that we insert into the tree, and it rotates so fast that it cauterizes the holes, no decay. That's the needle that goes into the tree. And this is
drill bit almost on top.
Yeah.
this is the gun. So what you do is you would press this against the tree, hit the trigger, and when it goes in, it gives resistance. So the harder the wood, the more resistance, the less the wood, the more cavity.
Right.
It drops out. So if it's a large tree, we do it on 4 sides. And the whole time that you were doing it, it prints out the resistant paper right here. So once you're done, you can put it in your files, or you can take it up to the tree and hold it up and see where the decay starts, if it starts, or if it's a solid tree all the way through. This right here really cut down on a lot of removal of old trees by seeing what was in it without having to cut it down and see. This is something we use quite frequently on trees that are needed for removal. You can get with Marty, he knows my love for trees, and we try our best to keep them around.
Are the needles, do you remove the needles afterwards?
Yeah, the needle comes right back.
Does come right out.
It comes with cotton absorbers, alcohol, in case there was a disease in the tree.
Do you do that like at a certain height?
The reason why we also chose this one was, we'll do it at DBH.
Uh-huh,
You can take it and do it at the buttress roots,
uh-huh,
or if I need to send a climber up the tree to do a big lead, you can take it up there.
yeah, okay,
So wherever you put the angle, and if let's say it goes in 8, 9, 10 inches, you can hold that 8, 9, 10 inch paper up and see where the decay starts.
yeah,
And
I'm,
it also sends it to your computer.
I'm just thinking like in under certain circumstances, you would want to keep some cavities around for things like owls that are cavity nesting birds.
Yes, now we don't consider a tree in any danger because of wildlife. We consider that part of nature itself. So if we see any kind of wildlife in it, we won't even cut a dead stub out because that's just what they've been doing. So we don't, I wouldn't make a tree pretty by cutting a dead limb out that's wildlife staying.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if you got one that's over a parking lot and it's vertical, I mean, you know, over the parking lot, so you know animals live, that's what you do.
Yeah.
There's no nesting or cavities, we definitely. We're always looking for volunteers to stick their hands up in there to see if there's any raccoons.
We make drones for that now.
So we do good. We, let's say we've been blessed with some people that are really wanting to have professions in the tree business. Nate Prince, Clay Kennedy, they're my 2 crew leads. And when I retired from Apex, y'all got some great young guys moving up the ladder.
And you focus only on town property, town
Yes, sir.
trees.
Yes, sir. Now we'll do plant peak on private property,
Right, right,
but
right.
we don't assess no tree but on town property.
Okay. Any thoughts about, maybe expanding that to non-town properties? You know, citizens come in and would like an assessment of a tree?
No, they'd have to get their own arborist to give their own assessment. That'd be up to the insurance liability and stuff like
Right.
that. But if we had a tree, for example, the large oak tree over here, they was one house and the tree had never had nothing in its way. They put 2 houses, we got a building, and they just put a trench right through the critical root zone, what I would call it.
Right, right.
And so that's on my list to get treated for a deep root fertilizer, because that tree's never been touched by nothing but the wind.
Right.
We just want to keep it growing the way it does. And we do deal with, every year I contract out deep root fertilization to town trees. And right now we're trying to get the parking lot trees in front of the building back to looking good. And that's about what we do. But I would like, if it is possible, to get a map of what we own as a town.
I think that would be helpful.
Oh, I love that. That way I would know where I could go and, yeah. If you ever call my number and I don't answer my phone, that's all about the trees.
So do you go, have you, or does somebody periodically cruise through like, the community park or the nature park where you do have like wooded stands to make sure that there's no like humongous or sizable trees in there that need keeping an eye on?
I will do what we call I'll do what we call a level 1 assessment. We just do a drive-by and notice any major tip branch diebacks. I guess you would say it's my authority where I can't really go in and say, hey, we need to do this, that. But I pulled up in the nature park and I seen some guys who were trimming. I didn't mess with them, but I took pictures of the cuts, and I had to. I asked if I can invite them down to the electric department. Went through a proper pruning class, because we need any tree that's already stressed out when you're putting it in compacted dirt, it's going to be stressed out. So we don't need to be cutting ways where to continue the stress throughout its 15 years. In 15 years, you want a beautiful tree, not a stressed out tree that you're going to be removing, and that should be the goal that we have when we plant trees.
So if there was a tree like along any of the trails at the nature park or maybe along the path at the community park, would you get the call to do that, or would somebody else be dealing with the tree?
It usually goes to about 5 different people before I get the phone call. I'll have a lot of people call me and then they'll say, hey, we got a tree over here, and I'll go look at it. And we're trying to focus that down just to me, to where then I can just see what's coming in, I can go look at it. But a lot of citizens help us out, they just don't like the way a tree looks, or then we'll go look at it and we'll talk to them about it.
And then does the parks staff also come to you, or do they have sort of their own?
They'll take care of the smaller stuff, but if it's anything that takes an arborist kind of style of work, then they give us a call.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, if there was any, I don't see Apex having an urban forester. I see having a town arborist, because it just fits the title, it fits the name.
And if I could add, I guess maybe that, and to your point of your, inviting folks in for like education on proper kind of care and pruning and things, was part of what we did of Tree Cap when we would volunteer at like town events. And his team, we kind of would do shifts. I mean, I was obviously far less educated, but his team was always there and would be every couple hours switch out. And it is general public asking questions about tree maintenance, tree trimming, tree, and so, I mean, his team was great. They were super helpful. They were like, mostly excited to engage with like the average town person. And so I don't know if it's something like you mentioned, education around, programming around something like that, not to volunteer you guys.
Oh,
but.
We'd love to. We'd love to. Because a lot of people give us a bad name. Like, they'll drive by, knock on doors, and say, hey, I was just driving by, and luckily I seen the tree. It's going to fall. And enough scare tactic them, and they'll do it. But hopefully in the future we can have it to where that'll be cut down on ordinances of trees and stuff like that.
And so to the point about education, like, this board, since the Tree Cap isn't separate anymore, we could do that as an educational event at EarthFest. Yeah. So members of the board, usually we have a table at EarthFest where we do some sort of educational outreach, and so that would be.
Yeah, and usually when it's like a day-long event, we would just kind of rotate. Someone would say, hey, I can be there from 10 to 2, and then someone would say I can be 2 to 4, or, whatever, and kind of rotate it out. And then we would sort of try to like pair up someone. When I first started Tree Cap, I barely knew anything, so I would sort of be paired with someone who obviously had a much more education, and just kind of like could be a good way to think of putting people together with different strengths and different information.
Yeah, we'll even do chainsaw classes for adults.
So Philip, do you also do any kind of assessment of like where the current canopy is, where it's being lost, tying that back to where the trees are going in.
We kept up with the map since we started planting the peak, so we can track them from 2000, I'm pretty sure is when we started.
Just the individual trees that have been planted versus just canopy in general.
Yeah, we had that survey come through a few years ago, and that's what we're still working off of.
Okay.
And me and Nora, we met with we're part of the urban canopy meeting that comes across, every 3 months? Every 3 months, we get together and talk about what other towns are doing and how they're coming along with their trees and other stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. The more information that I have about what we got, the better we can control it.
And the folks that you have working with, so a lot of this sort of sounds like almost like a GIS exercise. Do you have somebody that you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got used to be Ben Painter. He got moved to the design team in the electric department. So Kelsey Little is our GIS individual now.
Okay.
Yeah, poor. She got me and her, so she's like, poor girl.
Okay.
Well, I had a question, and I'll pull it up on here too. Okay. So you were mentioning heritage trees, right, Philip? So that's something that the board has talked a lot about. Is to my, or at least our understanding, I think a lot of other municipalities have like a champion tree, and I think we have heritage trees, but we don't have like a champion tree. Like, are you familiar with that kind of idea?
Another term.
Yeah, so I guess, do you have any thoughts on that, or do you think the definition of heritage trees that we have now fits that kind of idea, and we just need to expand preservation efforts around those?
Preservation, definitely, through all the historical districts. We got one of the biggest, beautifulest magnolia trees I've ever seen on the corner up here. I would need to be more educated by actually of a person that documents and records the champion trees, because we can just send them measurements, but I'd like to be more knowledgeable about the fact.
Yeah.
I think Okie would be a good opportunity to run for a champion tree before it dies out with that long, large limb that was lost.
Yeah. And it sounds like maybe there could be other champion trees outside the historic district.
Yes.
I know that we have seen a couple projects where they've done tree surveys where the DBHs were staggering in a couple cases.
They're widening the road down Old One, and that large oak tree, the large white oak down there. They're gonna move the road over, and they're gonna keep it. I went and assessed it and made sure that it wasn't gonna fall tomorrow or nothing, but yeah.
So Nora, this is Carrie's champion tree.
Yeah, so this example, so Raleigh was looking at doing something similar, and this was what they presented to their council, what they were going to look into. So I think they called them either specimen or champion. I guess they're deciding. But it would apply citywide, regardless of any parcel size, and it would identify those priority list species based on the species and size. It would require preservation, but allow for removal and replanting when necessary. So it's a strictly preservation-based ordinance. And that, you can quickly read that if you want, but this was something that they had on their website. That was what they were presenting to council. So they're saying they have authority from the state to regulate their champion trees, but they don't fully utilize that. So they could explore whether this authority could be used to preserve existing trees of significance outside of those tree conservation regulations. So that was just something from the Raleigh website. So I was thinking, even if our suggestion is something just like a statement like this, like look further into preservation around, if it's our heritage trees, I guess that's what we would call them.
What do y'all think about something like that?
I like the idea. I'm just not sure whether it qualifies as us being able to do it.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
prohibited by
Yeah.
the state from doing that now. I think there's, and in my mind anyway, there's a lot of uncertainty as to what we can and cannot
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
But we could make a recommendation to look into it.
Yes, yes. At a minimum, I think that would be good.
and are we thinking we just stick with the heritage term? Or does champion kind of involve more than just those heritage trees?
So does heritage, does that also encompass some sort of historical significance?
Yes, I think that's what it
Okay,
does.
Whereas champion is just size-based? Is
Yeah.
that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, or I guess species in some cases, at least for Raleigh.
I'd say
It's almost
champion
like-
slash heritage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they're two different things,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think you
So it
almost
depends
have
on
to.
our goal. if we
Yeah.
want
I
it
think
to
you would
be
need
strictly
something for
historical,
both.
older, or the.
Yeah,
Because to his point, it could not meet a qualification on size, but it could on years,
yeah,
like the heritage.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah. I don't know if there's one word that encompasses both, so maybe we have to have two
I think
words.
Two,
You might
yeah.
need to have two, yeah. It looks like Raleigh is proposing two, or at least the folks in Raleigh are.
Could we do both? I'm just wondering. I saw an idea of doing the story map.
Yeah.
Who had
Yep.
that idea? I like that.
I think, I mean, I've definitely seen them. I think I brought it up, but I know we've all talked about it a lot. There was an example, Wake Forest has a really cool story map on their, I guess it's their urban forestry page, just of, well, I don't know if it's heritage or champion trees or what, but there are certain trees around their town that they highlight in like a little GIS story map. That's pretty cool. And we met with Kelsey, who he mentioned was our GIS person, or the Plant the Peak GIS person.
Yeah.
And well, we didn't know, but I mean, we have all the data from all the past years of Plant the Peak. So all of that information is out there. We can contact the people. We still have, their contact information. Maybe a couple people could send, updated photos of trees, and we could make at least a Plant the Peak story map. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Yep.
Last year was the first year we started. We doubled the trees by giving the responsibility of watering the trees to the homeowners, and they really enjoyed that. Yes, they enjoyed it.
And I think to your question about can we do both, I think the board can recommend whatever you want, and then it's up to council and staff to, implement whatever council comes up with or agrees on. But I think you guys at least are in your right to say, here's what we'd like to see, and then we'll just see what sticks.
Yeah.
We frequently do that.
Yeah.
I think I worked on a Name That Creek story map, so it was just telling the stories of communities, naming a creek, and each one had their own story. So I sort of like that idea of the heritage tree, sort of what you mentioned earlier, like there might be a homeowner that had a tree their grandmother planted, and maybe it has something significant, or maybe we could highlight some of the trees in the historical. So I feel like if there's a story, then there's more care to it, and that was the point with the Name That Creek story map. So I don't know, I sort of like the name heritage tree, but I also don't want to, not take the champion tree, because those are trees that are there for such a long time too.
Yeah.
Seems like heritage would encompass a lot more trees
That's true.
than there can only be one champion, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true. Well, we can look more into that.
I think we need to look at both.
Yeah.
Or come up with our own that's like a blend of the two.
And I like the idea of stories about this stuff. Creeks, trees.
When we were looking at that large oak out there, the gentleman that lived at the house, he come out and he told me that he knew the name of the person that brought the acorn from another farm over and stuck it there and planted that tree. Yeah, I thought that's amazing.
That's cool.
It's kind of harder to cut something down when it has a name, you know?
Yeah, yes.
It's kind of like the joke, give names to your chicken.
Yeah.
We got a lot lucky.
Well, while we've got you, Philip, let me go back up real quick. Just for the sake of. Okay, so something else that we've kind of talked about or talked around is trying to plan for street trees, or this was just more specific ordinance talk. So one thing that we've looked at is that like Cary does have specific language in their UDO that prevents clear cutting. And we do have language in our UDO, but there are not the words clear cutting is prohibited. So is that something that the board thinks we need? Would you like to recommend that? This is the, let me scroll down.
I thought,
This is what's in the UDO now.
I thought we had clear cutting kind of prohibited. They can't develop for 4 or 5 years if they've clear cut their thing without permits.
Yes, so that, I mean, so it is basically prohibited. You don't want to be waiting around for 5 years to start. But, I mean, I guess that was just something that we brought up, was do we want to say explicitly it's prohibited? Or do we think this is fine? Just bringing it back up again.
I think some way to limit clear cutting would be good, because I know with the townhomes and stuff, I think that's pretty much the only thing they can do. Apartment complexes and stuff, they're sort of limited and not, and if you don't do that. So I don't know how we would just apply only to single family homes, or.
Bruce, do you know about that?
On clear cutting, I think most developers, don't they clear cut townhome developments and apartment complex developments?
Yeah, if it's a site, they'll probably go ahead and they'll clear everything and they'll grade it at the same time. Yeah,
Right.
they'll definitely do stub and grub you.
Is there anything they can currently do in lieu of waiting for the time? Like they can't pay a fine or do something in lieu of the 5 years, can they?
It's not laid out in the UDO that they can pay a fee or fine or anything on top of that. They'd have to wait the 3 to 5 years. There's two sections in the code.
No, if we allow clear cutting on townhomes and things, we really kind of have to, but the question is, can we get more RCA
Exactly.
as a result?
Right, what kind of, I think there needs to be some sort of offset to that if it is allowed.
But isn't there something about mass grading in phases?
Yeah, so if they can either mass grade or do stage grading. Most developers have been choosing to do the mass grading to get it all done at once. If they do that, they're required to do an additional 5% of RCA as part of that. So a lot of developments, they come in, they'll typically be 25 to 30% normally. They come in mass grades, where now we're looking at 35%, but the site is now provided as RCA.
And is the clearing of the trees usually coupled with the grading pretty tightly? Do those two things usually happen back to back?
A lot of times what will happen is they may be able to go and start cutting down trees. They're not allowed to remove the stumps usually until they get to the erosion control permit process. That's typically how it works in a lot of places. I'd have to follow up with our team here to see exactly how they manage it, but in my previous jurisdictions, we'd allow cutting for some things ahead of time with the right permit in place, but they wouldn't be able to do the groundwork until they got to the erosion control process.
Okay. So we could lose all the trees, still have the ground cover and whatever managed to hang on, and then at some point the grading would come through. Okay.
I'd say it needs to be looked at. I just don't know what what to recommend at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
if Cary can get away with it, we ought to be able to.
That's kind of a maybe because it depends on what the state legislature has done for Cary
I understand.
specifically.
I know, I understand.
I've run into that, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, well, I made a note to come back and look at that. And while we're thinking about RCA, another topic that we had brought up was kind of evaluating the different RCA categories and what counts towards RCA, because I know we had talked about, like tennis courts, swimming pools, that counts as RCA, but like what is the resource that's being conserved? And a question we had that came out of that was, well, we asked about, would those be considered impervious surfaces? And so I emailed Water Resources, and their response that was swimming pools are not considered impervious surfaces, but tennis courts are. So just throwing that out there.
Is the pool deck considered impervious? Like,
That would be, well, let's read this little box. That would be my guess. Materials that allow little to no infiltration of precipitation into the soil. Impervious surfaces include, but are not limited to, public and private streets, sidewalks, driveways, rooftops, parking lots, patios, and all other impervious and partially impervious surfaces, including CABC, I don't know what that is, and gravel within the development. Swimming pools and wooden decks shall not be considered impervious surfaces and shall not be included in the calculation.
so I'm wondering if it's
Just
just
the-
the
I think it's
pool
just
itself.
Just the pool,
but
yeah.
the pool
Yeah.
deck
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
impervious.
Probably the pool isn't because
Unless
it
it's
has
a
a
It can
little,
hold water.
well, it's a little freeboard. But I guarantee you, if it gets completely filled,
It's not going anywhere.
it's not gonna saturate into the ground through the pool. It
not.
is an impermeable surface, except that it has freeboard
Yeah, yes.
for accepting some water. But if it's a big storm,
It's just
it's impermeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
But so-
RECRA considers it impervious. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, so that's probably a separate issue for stormwater, but as far as RCA, like, should a swimming,
Should it be considered?
yeah, or like a recreation area like that?
I look at RCA for wild animals more than anything else. It's not for people to go swimming in.
Yeah.
Or play tennis.
Without non-fenced areas.
Yeah.
Birds can go in there too.
Yeah.
Yes, so, yeah, I wonder too if the RCA, we might have some suggestions how to strengthen that.
Because we had also mentioned, there was another one about solar panels that are put on stormwater control measures. That also counts towards RCA. But I asked again about that, and Stormwater's response was that they don't like to see anything permanently installed on stormwater control measures. Let's see what they said.
And I can't imagine anybody has done that.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone, people don't usually choose that, right, Bruce?
No, I have
Yeah.
not seen it since I've been here for a year, and I don't think it's very common. No, anything that could potentially damage the top of the dam is just not acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something we could
You
look
can
into.
put them in and ballast them, and it doesn't create any problem. But the real problem is it's just way too expensive.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Economically, they're not going to be there.
Yeah. So like that's in the RCA, but maybe that doesn't need to be in the RCA language.
Yeah, I agree.
Thoughts on that? This is up to you guys.
We need to grab.
I'm the messenger.
RCA natural as we can.
Yeah, I mean, so, are you asking us to make a decision on that now, or should we do a, like
No,
a total,
I guess
like,
just
run
just
through?
thinking about it. Yeah, we'll do a run through at the end.
Yeah.
I think, let me look. Another thing that we talked about was just continuing to do some updates to the suggested zoning conditions document. Like we have our clover lawn example, but we could do something about, you know, HOA covenants can't restrict tree plantings as long as the trees are native, or some kind of language like that. So, I mean, there's no, you know, knowing if people will choose that, but we could offer it as something for developers to choose. But then I don't know if that needs to go to council, but that's just something we could do on our document.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of positive feedback on that when it ends up at the council.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not willing to put in warm season grasses, I don't know that we're gonna get this.
Yeah.
Bring to a recommendation. So I really think we need to push for as much of this to be in the UDO as possible.
Okay. Yeah, agreed.
We really don't have anything but a recommendation. And there's nothing that makes them do it, unless they get it.
It makes it clear too for the
Yeah.
developer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's cut and
it
dry
does.
at that point for the most part. And I agree, it's terribly frustrating for us to sit here and make recommendations. They shake their head kind of yes, but it's really no.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess, I mean, that was just like a quick overview of, I feel like, what we've been talking about the last couple months. So I know last month, was it last month at this point? We brought up starting a subcommittee, but we realized that it needs to be a lot more formal than we thought it needs to be. So whatever committee we come up with, we have to let the clerk's office know. We have to let them know the members, the expected timeline of how long the subcommittee is going to meet, and then the meetings have to also be in person.
And noticed.
Yeah.
Yes, and noticed. What?
What was your last statement?
The meetings have to be in person,
Oh, okay.
and the public has to be given notice as well. So I guess asking you guys, so thinking about, we want to have, you know, some sort of set of recommendations ready. Do we want to just talk about this again December, January, and have something ready by February, or do we think we need to make another subcommittee, but just know that the meetings will need to be in person?
So I guess, yeah, so the question is, do we want to do it like this in this format, or do you want a subcommittee to kind of work on it, dive into it, and come back to the group?
I guess how many hours are we talking about? If it's an hour, just do it right here. If it's gonna take 3 or 4 meetings or something to get it together,
Yeah.
that's,
I'm thinking it may take a little bit of effort to come up with actual suggestions and recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we do another special meeting instead of formalizing a subcommittee? Like
Yeah.
the October
I guess
one?
we could do a.
I think we could do that. We just have to make sure it's a day everyone can make it, or at least we have a quorum.
Yeah, and could it be more so in the format of like the work sessions at council where they're in the other room where it's a little
Yeah, or
less-
even different tape, like a different setup maybe, or
Ooh, that would be a staff meeting, right? I think we could call a staff meeting, or you could call a staff meeting, Suzanne.
But I think we would have to have less than quorum.
For staff.
I think that's a clerk's office question, but I like that idea.
Because I do think more of a, like a U-shaped table would be more
Yeah.
productive to discussion and hashing through some of this kind of stuff.
Well, and the other thing too is, no matter which one we do, it doesn't have to be at 6. I mean, if you guys want an earlier meeting, we could do that as well. Just throwing that out there. Or later, but I don't think anyone wants to stay later.
Okay, so the options are subcommittee or do like a work session thing, however that formally has to happen. What are your all thoughts? We'll go down the line if we need to, or?
Is there a way to do it that improves the potential that it gets accepted and codified at the next level? Because it sounds like nobody wants to go spend a lot of time.
Guarantee for any of that.
No, not guarantee, improve.
I think we probably need to have something detailed, recommendations. When we looked at the lighting ordinance in the UDO a few years ago, we went line by line, word by word in some cases, and did a complete revamp of that whole section. And it was it took several months, but we did it via Zoom.
Yeah.
But it took a while to get that done. But we had something concrete and in line with how the UDO is structured and reads, because the language, whatever we recommend, would sort of need to be consistent with the UDO language, which is a bunch of legal stuff. It worked that way, and then we were successful in getting that through and getting the changes made. But it was a subcommittee process, and then it was brought back to the full committee or board to look at.
Yeah, what I'm sensing is spend a lot of time to do something and then they don't listen to it and don't do it anyway. And I don't think anybody wants to do that. So.
Agreed, but I will say that this was something that was brought to me that they asked for. So I think that they're more open at least to hearing what you all have to say. Like, this wasn't something I just conjured up. It was brought to me.
Okay.
But either way, February is our deadline, right?
Yes.
And we are coming up on.
I think by the time we
Gotta be.
talk to the clerk's office about a subcommittee, get back to everyone who wants to be on it, try to find a time, we're gonna lose like a month just doing that practically.
Yeah, we are.
I can vouch for that. It does take a lot to wrangle emails and see who all can make it.
Yeah. So then I guess in between now and February, though, we only have like December and January for these regular meetings. And we don't know how many applicants we're gonna have coming before us. I think subcommittee. You think subcommittee? Okay.
And then bring it back to the larger.
The full, the
Yeah,
larger
it'll
group.
need to
yeah.
be brought back for the January meeting, for sure.
For the January, okay, yeah,
Because our February meeting, it'll be after the
okay,
council meets, I think, in February.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move that we create a subcommittee for the purposes of, bringing tree canopy ordinance update back to the board and then ultimately moving that on to town council. Its term will be up until February. Anybody wanna second that motion?
I second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Can I chime in real quick? I'm comparing in my head this kind of effort to the lighting thing. And first of all, the lighting thing had nobody would oppose it because nobody really is going to fight, these kind of changes. In my opinion, that were really great. And I'm really proud of what you guys did. In terms of things like canopy, it's kind of always in conflict with growth. Land that can be developed now in Apex costs $250K. I mean, it's crazy. So per acre. So like every percent of RCA you kind of play with is like thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. So like that's the challenge. And we have, I think I mentioned this before, we have a lot of goals related to, infrastructure that the developers build, affordable housing, a lot of things that kind of compete with our interest in with environmental stuff. So I guess all that to say, I think the whole board maybe right now would be well served to kind of think about the most important goals that you have for this. Like try to be specific about like increase in whatever champion trees, whatever, like, and then the subcommittee could go back and kind of say, okay, these are our kind of overall high level goals from this committee, from this board. Let's dig into the UDO, which is what it's going to take, I think, and like line by line and think about what's legal, what would, be worth the fight against more cost to development, if it's really important for the environment and for canopy. Things that are maybe easy, they could be put in, the champion trees thing and cataloging and staffing, that's more of a budget thing than even a UDO thing. But cataloging trees would be easy because nobody's going to care. And like I've been in places where they have like a number tacked on the tree because they've done that obviously in some places. So, but like the overall high level goals from here, I think would help guide the most important edits that you guys may make in the subcommittee. So I would encourage you guys to think about that right now before you kind of go off with this somewhat ambiguous goal of canopy. I think it needs to be a little more set in stone. So, sorry, you guys can vote how you want it. That's my feedback about the best way to direct the subcommittee.
Yeah, I mean, our goal, what we've been hearing over and over is canopy, canopy, canopy.
Or preservation, I guess.
Yeah.
Preservation or anything to increase.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean to you guys? Canopy, canopy, canopy. Like, what does that mean exactly? Do you guys think? Besides anti-growth, because we have plenty of that, and I don't believe that's kind of what this council is going to want because there are many needs in this community. But like, what does it mean exactly to you guys?
I think preservation of existing canopy as well as new growth.
Okay, and so where and how? Like what areas or like?
Well, I mean, there are the places that I think with development, oftentimes the parcel is viewed as a blank slate instead of considering what is actually on the landscape. Oftentimes you do have stream corridors, and those would be the best places to preserve canopy because you can connect them and also make wildlife corridors. But oftentimes the process isn't that. They're just, how can we make things fit to maximize the number of buildings or whatever. So to preserve canopy, I would say along the stream corridors.
Okay,
however you
so
do that,
I would agree with environmentally, that's the most important areas. And we have, it's 100 feet for perennial, right? Okay, I don't know if we're allowed to go higher, but that may be something you want to think about is that RCA maybe counts extra, or we could try to go 150. That would maybe
or incentivize
make it pushback.
How like you can do certain things in the certain areas of the stream buffers.
Okay.
Maybe incentivize not, even though those things are allowed, incentivize not doing them in order to protect the canopy that's there. Maybe don't put your stormwater pond in that section of the stream buffer.
All right, I'm hearing some high-level goals here that are really good, I think. That this committee could dive into the UDO and look at those things.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
So we have a second for the motion to set up the subcommittee. A discussion. Do we all want to vote on a subcommittee? All in favor of forming a subcommittee?
Aye.
Sure.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we will establish the subcommittee to do this. As far as members of the subcommittee, initially Changling, Mark, and
I was.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we cannot exceed a quorum. So Mark, Changling, myself. So that means we do have space for two more?
Quorum is what, 6 now?
We can have five.
5.
Okay, we can have 5. So
But committee members can only be current board members, right?
Yes.
Can we get outside counsel from experts?
We probably could have them come and
I think. I think so.
I don't know if Philip wants to give more of his time, but just thinking of.
Oh, yeah. That head swiveled in.
I guess my question is, does anybody else, would you like to be on the board? All right, we'll just go with us 3, I guess.
Suzanne, Chainling,
Mark.
Mark.
not taking any more vacation. I'll be around.
And then, I guess we can work with you, Nora, to sort of set up maybe a standing meeting, figure out some times, and then we can get that noticed and on the calendar.
Yep. All right.
And then we'll bring our recommendations back to the board for discussion, and then we can go from there. We will take into consideration what you have said about that, because I think we do recognize that there has to be a balance of some sort.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to let you know what we have once I get the map. I'll let you know what we're looking at on size and species and stuff like that. Kind of interested in myself.
Yeah.
So I will give it to Nora and she'd be more than happy.
So when you guys do a map, will that also end up on this new environmental leadership page?
Yes.
Okay.
Potentially anything that you guys create, I would love for that to go on the page. And like the news about this recycling grant, once we get that started, that'll all be on the page, so.
The sort of pollinator garden stuff, is that also gonna be on the page?
Yes, it should already be on there. There are like gray boxes that if you click on, more information comes down. So they're kind of like file folders. So I don't remember what we labeled it as, but it should be on there.
Pollinators in the peak.
Yep, yep.
Native habitat restoration, trees.
Yep.
Okay, okay, this is great. Okay.
And Don has some sustainability, I think dashboards he's making, so like those will be on the webpage soon, whenever he's got those ready, so yeah, it'll be actively maintained. I'm excited.
Okay.
Yep.
I have one before you go, Philip. Glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the weeds, so it's a little bit different. There's a persimmon tree down here on North Hughes. Have you been involved with that? As a heritage tree, it seems it's not a champion by any means, but it is a heritage tree from the standpoint that the neighborhood is very interested in keeping it. So I was hoping you were involved.
Anybody harvest persimmons off of it? Okay, I was out there looking at it and I didn't see none on the ground, just a few smashed.
Joe, who lives right there, has been
Yeah.
out there.
He has packages of it processed. He's proud of.
I was asked about it, and it's a nice one. It's beautiful. I didn't know if anybody harvested, but I didn't see none. I just thought it could have been a wildlife coming. They love them.
Oh no, people, not just Joe, other people have been out there harvesting. It was very prolific this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And a second thing, and I know you and I talked about this, and I think John proposed it in this board, recommended it, that we have a nursery, and I was wondering, has any of the managers talked to you about that yet, or what's going on there?
I've been mentioned about it.
It's been 18 months.
Yeah, it's been
or better.
I've been mentioned one time about it outside of what just the conversations and stuff, and I don't think it's. I would need like some equipment. I need another 2 whole crews to help me manage. Well, I wouldn't say 2 whole crews, but I need some help with equipment and land. We need just land. We need some shelter for the equipment, and it would take a whole lot of investment to get one going. And so I think if we had the land that was just totally dedicated to that, we'd need a structure for some equipment, and we need at least some seasonal help, if not full-time help, to go from the ceilings up from the air seating to the pots to the ground to whatever we need to get the caliber up. I think it's a great idea. We're getting, I can't remember how many trees we're getting, but we don't want to be like carrying them to sell 3,000 trees that are this tall. That just sounds good. It looks pretty. We need to be doing what we're doing in Apex by planting 1.5 inch, 2 inch caliber trees that are tall and been approved for the urban. And Apex is way ahead of that. Once I mentioned to Raleigh that Apex actually plants 15-gallon trees for citizens, it blew their mind. And once we got the citizens to water it, it blew their mind more. So Apex has really advanced a little bit. But that's kind of where we stand on that.
I guess, I remember originally when it was mentioned here, it was 133 trees,
We're up to 230.
and it was a $100,000 program for the year.
We're still at
And now you're up to 230,
that's 94.
but you need to be into the thousands to really have an effect. That's in my opinion.
Well, we've gone from taller, large trees that people really wouldn't want in the yard to, we suggested max height 40 feet at the max 45. We want some flowering trees and maybe some that give off berries for the wildlife. So we brought in those this year. We got rid of the black tulips and we got rid of the white oaks, even though the black tulip is my favorite because of the fall colors.
Why did you get rid of the white oaks?
A lot of people don't know what they are, and when you point to one in the woods, they're like, nope, don't want one of those.
Yeah, not in a yard to a
Yeah,
degree.
yeah, and so the canopy gives off good, but it would take a lifetime for it to actually give off the canopy needed. And to be good stewards in the woods, we need to plant trees that our kids can sit under, we all know this, so we need faster growing shade trees that won't grow as fast. And what we learned in the class is,
Come back to the mic.
oh,
Sorry, the live stream.
and we, if we ever do city tree planting, we can prune them to the urban style, and we would promote 15-foot clearance to 20, however much you want, and we would promote a more taller, wider tree through that pruning cycle.
Is that what urban style is?
Compatible, I think that's the word.
Okay, it's
yeah.
sort of, okay, you just,
We want to suppress the sides and push the top,
okay,
and to do that, we'd come in and go to laterals and kind of promote sun growth. When you cut a limb, it stunts the growth of it, but it would push the resources to the leader. And then we would get stronger, good tapered trees.
okay.
And so there's good future to what's going to go on in Apex, the education we're getting and pushing it on through. But Bill, once we get to the point, money, I'm a tree guy. So I promote all tree everything, but that's,
When you're describing a tree as taller and less wide, I was thinking poplars are one weed tree that grows like a son of a gun.
yeah. I've met some people that love poplars. They love planting them in their towns, and it's a go-to tree for them, the tupelos that we have, the ones that are real huge and grow. And the good thing about those is they will grow so fast around a disease, around a defect. If something happens to them, they'll grow around it and shoot up and try to, kill it. But a white oak, it'll stop growing, and they're just so slow growers. They're my favorite trees. They're just so beautiful, like this one over here. So if we planted trees that grow big and fast quick, but don't grow too tall, we'd be good. Yeah. We mainly want the clearance for urban, and whatever cars or trucks are coming by, you can promote that now and still get the canopy. It'll take a few years to get it there.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
One final question. I'm sorry. Our neighborhood, Duke Energy is coming through and they're cutting 25, 30-inch trees down outside of their easement. Do you get involved with that at all? Or you,
Can you come back again?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's for the live
It's okay.
stream.
And I mumble, so they're gonna have a rough time typing what I say. Is that transmission that
it's
they're on?
transmission.
Yeah, they'll, a few years ago, I ran into the Burford crews, and they went straight to the top, man. The FEMA, the Federal Electric Division, come in and said, we're widening our transmission lines, and they come in and do it. So somebody from Burford went to the town and told them, here we come, and we're taking our right-of-ways back, and I mean, they opened them up. And so
I can
that's
see-
what they're doing now. They're just coming in.
I can see in the right of way, but I mean, they're cutting no doubt outside of the right of way.
Yeah.
And it seems to me if they're gonna be cutting a tree down outside of the right of way, at the very least, they should have an arborist like yourself come in, evaluate the price of that tree,
Okay.
and then pay the property owner
And also,
for
when
that tree.
I was with Duke, when I was contracting through Duke, you had to give a notice to the property owner or homeowner that they were coming
They
through.
do that.
Yeah, that's their window of opportunity for you to stop them. That's just how they play. Duke
The
does.
notice they gave my neighbors that I got was, they came by and they said, we're gonna take those trees out.
Yeah, that's the.
That was the notice, it wasn't anything else.
Yeah, they,
Wasn't, you can get an arborist, or we'll pay you for that tree,
did they-
nothing.
No, they won't do that. I can't remember the name. Transmission's not my go-to. But they got this federal laws that they go by, and they will come in and take what they want. You can fight it. If you have a building that's 2 feet on that right-of-way transmission. They fly it with helicopters. They're gonna come to your door and they're gonna tell you to remove that building off of the right-of-way. You can put a deer stand out there, you can put gardens out there, you can put pollinator gardens out there, but no structures. And if they wanna take the trees, they're gonna take them. That's just, what they do. And to them, it's anything that would endanger the transmission. And it all started back with a blackout back in like 99 or 2000 up north. Yeah.
I can understand the concern, but I look at the economics of it to the homeowner.
And they just leave them
It's
trees
wrong.
there.
It's just as wrong as it can be. It's a taking without.
They leave those trees
payment.
there. They'll send a mulch head by, make it mulch, release all the carbon in there. People always ask me, why is it hot on right-of-ways after they send the mulcher down? It's all that carbon that was stored up. It's mulched up and it's going up. Of course, it's hotter. So,
Philip, just one more quick question. Where the town does have like aerial electric crossing, sort of, where the right of, I don't even know if this exists, where it's sort of a natural state in the right of way, do you come in there and herbicide to keep the woody growth down, or how do you all maintain that right of way?
we prefer stump cutting. Now, if we're out more in the urban setting, we'll do spot spraying,
Okay.
where we actually spray the foliage. And that's our goal, is to take the woody out and just have all grasses for the deers to lay in, all kinds of critters. But if we're in a neighborhood, we'll cut the tree, we'll cut the saplings, and we'll spray the cambium on the stump.
Okay, so not broadcast.
No, broadcasting is hopefully a thing of the past.
Okay.
In Apex, when it was just mowing when I first got here, it was constantly mowing because trees are going to survive off the roots, the stumps, this, that, and the other. We come in, we started doing selective spraying, and we went from 200 gallons down to 25 to 30 gallons. So we've almost eliminated that right there. Unless a bird plants a tree for us, we won't need to go back. And our right-of-ways that run Mount Zion 3 through the woods, they look really good. I mean, we're kind of tickled that the woody substance is gone, and we'll spot spray. We got us a little vehicle, we seatbelt in, and we go to it. But we've cut down a lot on that. The development's not really put a hinder on it because we're underneath the lines, and you can't build a development right underneath the lines. So that's how we handle the herbicides. We're hoping to get out of it
Okay.
in the long run.
All right, great. That's great to hear. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, is that all we have tree-wise for now? You guys have any other questions? We have our subcommittee members. We know we have to meet in person. We'll get notices out whenever we decide dates. I think that's about it, right? Thank you, Philip. Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
Go back to the persimmon tree. When I went and looked at it, my quote was, not my quote, but what I said was, if no one's harvesting the food, no one's harvesting the berries, then this tree's just here. But if it's being harvested and it's part of something like that, then it has a purpose. And there's two more pecan trees behind it, so I thought the squirrels was having a ball eating persimmons.
The other part of this, I was told the neighbors would give easement around that tree so that, it's because of the sidewalk that they want to put in.
Yeah, no, that's a probably discussion when it comes to sidewalks. I don't understand it. Just me, the way I view it. So.
Well, if the neighbors are willing to give land, I would think it'd be a natural for the town to.
Yeah, you know, they've got a lot of floating sidewalks and stuff like that. There's things, I was asked about a big oak tree over here on Mason Street. It's that huge one. Before I even come to Apex, the homeowner wants to take it down with us with dudes. Nope, shrank. But I was asked about a sidewalk around it, and I told them my opinion. They had no problem putting in a floating sidewalk around it. So, I mean, they're good to have. Low maintenance. So, just not putting depression in the root zones. So, that's just me, though. Yeah. Thank y'all for the invite and listening to me. Appreciate it. I'm gonna get that back. I know Mark over there holding on.
Oh.
Probably. We'll go a place where there's a bunch of firewood. We'll use it, and you will be amazed.
Sweet. All right, well, I guess we can move on. We'll let you escape, Philip.
Thank y'all.
Thank you again for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Philip.
Thanks. Let's see here.
I don't know there's anything that's talked about that tree.
Well, tree adjacent. Tree adjacent. Okay, so next up, we have some updates with our native plant resolution that we all know we passed, got approved. And today we're going to, I don't know if we need to motion to approve it or just talk about it in general and approve it. But I'll show you some of the updates that we've made to the design and development manual that reflect that executive order and the resolution you guys came up with. So first page, you can see, yay, now it's updated in 2025. Our table of contents are a little bit updated. I've shifted the numbers around because we've taken some species out. And then at the end, I don't expect you guys to remember what was on the original one, but we added at the very bottom, we made, or I made, instructions for how to use the USDA plant database. So now if developers or whoever is using this manual wants to look at the 5,000 plus species that are native that aren't on this list, we're telling them how to go use the USDA website. So that's at the very bottom. We'll get to that. This is the first page that talks about the native and adaptive plant list that we'll look at in a second. I'm going to blow this up a little bit and let you guys read it. Okay, that might be too much. It's probably a little small, sorry, but I'll hit the highlights. This top section, that was in the manual beforehand, and we just left it in, but we added in basically the exact wording that we wrote in the resolution, that all town landscaping and any project installations must use 100% native plant species. And we defined what those species are based on the USDA. We listed all the states and the counties in Florida, so that's in there. Again, talking about if you want to see the comprehensive list of plants, you can use that USDA plant database website, and there are instructions for that at the bottom. We mentioned when you're searching for things to use a scientific name because common names can vary. And there aren't any herbaceous or grass plants in these lists. So if you're looking for those, also use those, the USDA resource and the Invasive Plant Council resource. So all of that's added, that's all in there. I'm pretty sure that was completely reflective of what was in the resolution. And there are links to all those websites as well. This was a part of the manual beforehand, so keeping these lists in. And then we also made a note that in each list, the sections are divided into native plants and then adaptive or introduced species. So not that you guys can tell because I know there were so many plants, but we worked and we took out a bunch of plants that now have been listed as invasive or they're on the watch list to become invasive. So that's all updated. And I know this looks kind of weird, but we wanted a way to more clearly delineate that this is the native section. So we made the little banner on top bright green. So bright green are native species, and then introduced adaptive species are in that bright yellow banner. So there is a little bit of a demarcation between them. So I'll scroll through all these. It's all updated. It's a lot. No. These are portions that were already in the manual. Zoom back out. So all of this is the same. It's a lot. And then this is the part that we added. So this was the instructions for using the USDA website. So if you're just looking for one species in particular, you want to see if it's native, you can click the search bar on the web page. This is just a picture, so you can't do it here, but you can click on this search box, or if you want to see the full list, you can click on state search. When you get to the state search page, you click on United States, sort by scientific name, because that's what you're using. And then you have to go through and individually click each state. And so you can go back and reference, you know, at the very top where we listed the states that the USDA calls Southeast. Oh, it's also right here too. You click those very specific Florida counties, hit generate or perform search. Make sure you're looking at the native ones only, and then the list generates. So we throw that in there just so people can't say, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to look them up. Well, now you have instructions. So that's all added. That's hopefully reflective of what we wanted. I think it pretty much encompasses everything we said. So now we want to approve that. I don't know if we need to motion to approve it, but approve it, or I can hear edits, feedback, comments. And then the next stage will be, now that we have this, to work on the actual UDO language, and then it should be ready to go. So, thoughts, opinions?
Forgive my ignorance, but do we have a list of banned trees that may not be planted?
No, but I mean, there is a little section here that says invasive species are prohibited, and we have the Invasive Plant Council link, but we don't have a distinct.
Invasive species are prohibited?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so the Invasive Plant Council, on their list, they have not just trees, they have like herbaceous things, they have everything, so.
Things like liriope.
I don't know if liriope is actually on there.
I don't know either.
But I think initially when this was developed, it was like, you know, defer to the experts. And so they are actively maintaining their list.
Okay, good.
So that one was just updated in 2023, maybe fairly
yeah.
recently. So.
See, I'm surrounded by two neighbors that love invasive species.
Oh.
They grow
That's why I
well.
asked that question.
I mean, there's a reason.
That's a good point.
Yeah, liriope may be on there, but yeah, you could look on that to make sure.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Questions?
If we need to approve this for it to move on, I recommend I make a motion that we approve this.
Okay, Johnson.
Second.
Second, all right. Any discussion, further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Nora, for all the work you did on that. I know that took a long time to go through and reformat and remove plants.
I think it was Shelly before me that made this, so thank you, Shelly.
Yes.
I used her whole template, so it was very easy to just, well, not easy, but I was able to do it, to edit, so I'm glad that that was already there for me. Okay, well, that's good, that's easy. I think now we're ready to move into the next steps with that. And then I don't have my agenda, but I think last up is
Swag items for
yes,
Earthfest.
swag. Where am I looking? Okay, so I actually made a Mentimeter to do this. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Let me pull the QR code up. So if you have your phone and you would like to vote, you can scan this really quick. And then while y'all are doing that, I'll say again for the new members that we do, our EAB usually has a booth at Earthfest. I don't know if you've been to Earthfest, but it's a pretty big town-led event. It's in April, obviously around Earth Day. I think this year it's the 25th, so it's a Saturday. But we usually do some kind of outreach or like fun game component. Last year we did a recycling, like sorting game. But we always have swag. Oh, yeah, so if you're there, if you're ready, let's look. This should update. I think I let you vote for like up to 3 things. And these were just ideas. I mean, we don't have to go with any of these, but just to kind of gauge your interest. I know we talked about doing native seed packs. And last year at EarthFest, Ellison, our volunteer coordinator, she had really cool personalized seed packs that said like Town of Apex pollinator programs or something. So maybe we could do our own.
And I pulled you up.
Is it not working?
We had to sign up.
But we can see the options.
Yeah.
I'm trying to vote. I'm like,
I definitely vote for temporary tattoos.
We can see the results, but we have to actually sign up to vote, I think.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I'll sign up.
Well, sorry. I didn't know you had to sign up.
I don't
But-
think you do, like.
Yeah,
there
I
must
didn't think
be-
you had to either.
I've done these before in meetings and,
There should be. There's a code too. If you go to the website, maybe you could put the code in. I don't know if that would help.
What's the code?
Code is 11860713.
say that again, please.
11860713. This is also the free version, so maybe that's some kind of
Maybe,
I don't know, weird
Okay, well,
paid
so
thing.
We've got the seed packets, the
Yeah.
flower pots.
It's okay. This was just a little. It was gonna be fun, but it's fine.
Yeah, it would have been. So let's discuss.
having
We'll do it the
fun.
old
Yeah.
way.
We brought up the sunflower pots. Those were pretty popular last year, and we heard that they worked well, so that's an item. Cutlery again. I think that went over pretty well last year. I thought about stickers or temporary tattoos. Because another thing to think about is that now we're storing things at the planning department building, but it's like a little brick building outside, so it's not regulated. And there's not a lot of space, so maybe we want to get, yeah, smaller items. I saw online these recycled bookmarks. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. And most of these are available through,
Could we do like a little contest that someone could design a bookmark that could be printed for EarthFest that we would distribute at EarthFest?
that would be really cool, yeah.
What?
Now we're talking.
Oh, I thought you said we can't do that.
No,
I was like,
okay.
oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I like that. We'd have to put
That might
the word
make
out
printing
pretty
it more
soon.
expensive, but I don't know. Could be
Yeah,
fun.
because I think if they're going to be personalized anyways, I mean, yeah, I think it'd be cool to have a design made by
Do
someone.
the design, you could save an image of it and then use Avery and print labels or something.
That's true.
Have you heard, like, I know Ellison usually gives out seed packets. Have you heard?
So she used Earthly Goods.
Okay.
So we know
Is
where she got them.
Planning on giving out seed packets?
Yes, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Okay, so you're recommending we should not overlap with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And we done sunflower pots already,
Mhm.
so maybe we should try something different.
I like the tattoo thing for the young kids.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a whole lot of them, but
Yeah.
Kids like tattoos.
And I don't remember if we talked about this, but they did decide on the theme, and actually the theme this year is upcycling. So I don't know if that sways our decision, but just throwing that out there.
Let's not bring out our.
The reason we're bringing this up now is because it took a while for stuff to come last year. So we want to order kind of early, hopefully. And then we still need to order, like last year we didn't have a table. So we need a table and a tent.
We have a tent.
or tent weights.
Tent weights, yes.
We need weights.
Yes, weights.
Yeah, very much. So, do you have any idea on the pricing on this? I think in years past it's been helpful, like we had an Excel where we could like sort of adjust the numbers to try and.
I don't know for sure, but we use promotional partners, and I think most of these were on their website already, and they were less than $2 each.
Okay.
So I think it was like around $1 something for each item.
So it might make, if the seed packets are inexpensive, it might make sense to get at least some of those so we can get like, so we don't run out of swag, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be my concern. I mean, I like all four. What kind of? I mean, what?
Well, and then I'll add another thing in here. I don't know for sure what the budget is. I think I was told a while ago we had $2,000, but then the t-shirts, through some mishap, didn't get billed last fiscal year. So the t-shirts are also going to be billed this year. And I think that was like 200.
We have t-shirts?
Yes, if you don't have a t-shirt, get with me. We have extras.
Okay.
So I know the budget. What do we know the approximate quantity that we need to prepare for? Or do these items need to be used for other things, other events too, or?
Well, that's one thing. If we got like
Is that
stickers,
just the budget for Earthfest, or?
That is for everything.
That's our whole budget.
Yeah.
Yes. But if we bought more than we needed, we could save it for next year or next whatever event we do.
So how about this? Like, when do you think like we need to absolutely get this stuff ordered?
December.
Yeah, December next month.
Next month. Okay. Do you think you could confirm the budget, get pricing on some of these things?
I feel like people like the coloring.
I feel like people do like
They
the
do like it,
cover.
but that's expensive.
Yeah,
It
that's
costs-
probably the most expensive item.
It's probably a couple dollars per,
Yeah.
$2 or $3 probably per.
Yeah.
Like the adults, really.
Yeah. I mean, some of the kids do too. I mean, obviously, I think I kind of like the sticker tattoo thing, especially if it's monarchs, because the mayor does have the monarch pledge.
Yep.
What about like an upcycled tote bag type thing? Not the most original, but.
I think that would be cool. It would just be, if we did order that, it would be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna-
But I mean, somebody I was talking to said that they did some craft where they turned an old t-shirt into a bag. So I mean, maybe that's like we do
The giveaway
something
is
like
an
that there,
activity or
like
something?
yeah, like actually at the event that day, people just bring a shirt and we'll turn into a bag.
Yeah, if that's not hard to do.
I have no idea if it's hard to do, but I was just told about it.
Yeah, no, that's something that Megan Pendel had suggested, like way back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be a good idea if we could show some examples of things that are that we can reuse and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, last year they came out with some some of the kids came out with unique ideas for reusing the egg carton.
Yeah, that's true.
That was
Reusing acorns?
egg
Oh,
cartons.
yeah, okay.
The kids have a lot of creativity. I
They're
will
not
say.
hindered by education.
No, they're not.
True.
They think outside the box.
Okay, so next month, yeah, I'll see what our budget actually is, and try and find some pricing, and then vote then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll need
Maybe,
to
yeah.
decide
See, I
that.
mean, if we could get the Minty to work, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. I even did it on my own phone, and it
Oh.
worked, but that was like a day ago, so. Okay.
I don't know
we'll do
whether
that.
people would want to carry 1 gallon containers, but we could have, here's how you plant a tree in a 1 gallon container. Last year we gave some away and they took them.
Yeah, do you have more trees?
I've got some more trees. I managed to kill a bunch of my own.
No.
I just, it's, see the color of that thumb? But, or I can, you know. Hmm? Yeah, I got birdhouses. I got some of those, but I guess, you know, maple tree seeds I think are available at that time.
Yeah, it's just that dirt might be expensive and people hauling dirt around.
Well, I was thinking, you know, you can get for, well, I got on sale at Costco for $11. It was like 20 quarts, which is 20 containers, 20 gallons, I guess it was, 20 containers. So it's less than $1 a container. It's probably 50 cents a container.
Yeah. But how fast do maple trees sprout?
Pretty quickly.
Okay.
Surprisingly fast, and the trees, the seeds are really cheap. I go out with my blower on my local street and just collect a whole bunch. So
I mean, because you
can
could
give a handful of tree seeds and let them call out to the best one.
And I mean, you
I'll-
could
I-
practically
we could do
use
that. I
any
can-
container to upcycle the container. As you
Yeah,
plant
because
the
I can get
container.
free. I can get free
Yeah.
containers
Yeah, I mean,
to upcycle.
you could cut off the top of a soda bottle.
Well, I can get the regular nursery containers at no cost. Yeah, anybody can. You just talk to a landscaper, and they can't get rid of them. They just throw them away. So,
Yeah.
or when I give away azaleas, the nice people bring the containers back.
I got one back. Okay.
All
So we have a good plan. Yeah, and I don't know how much weights for canopies cost. Tables are not that expensive, I don't think.
No, I mean, I don't know how much weights are.
Yeah.
I hope not more than like $100, right?
I can't imagine.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine them.
Yeah, but I do think we need those just in case it is windy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just out of safety.
I mean, if they're that much, I think we can come up with an alternative.
Yeah.
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 Sandbags.
Yeah. Sandbags. Anything else? Did we like clip anything down last year? Do we need like clips or anything, or like table? Do we have a tablecloth?
Yeah,
We have a tablecloth.
and if we have tape, that would work. But clips,
Yeah.
work
Or
better.
like weights or
Yeah,
yeah.
we didn't have anything to weight the tablecloth
Yeah.
down, like water bottles we used. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was it was a little bit windy last time.
Okay, well, I think December is going to be, the meeting is going to be a lot of prepping for next year because Ashley was supposed to come present this month about the meeting dates for next year. So she's going to come do that next month in December. Talk about whatever tree stuff we've worked on by then. Vote officially on our, what did we just talk about? Earthfest.
Yeah.
Giveaway items. And hopefully we're a little bit further along with the native plant resolution by then too. So I think we'll be in a good spot once we start doing all this.
Yeah. So then the next thing we have on our agenda is sending the EAB packet earlier.
Oh, yes. So that was brought to my attention. Do we want to start doing that? The only reason I did on Monday was because I think that's what Lindley was doing. So I just did that too, but I think a lot of boards get their packets like the Friday before, so you have the weekend to kind of review everything and look it all over. So do we want to start?
People that have full-time jobs, that might be helpful.
Yeah, yep. Okay. The like Friday, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So long as that works for you and with the deadline for
Yeah, with the
any
deadlines
applicants.
you've got.
Yeah.
That'll be better.
And it always happens that people, like we thought we were going to have a developer this month, but then we realized that they were too small, like it was too small to come before you guys, so we took that off. So there are changes that happen last minute, but I think in general, I usually know by the Friday before somewhat what we're going to talk about, so that shouldn't be an issue to start doing it then.
I can always send a revision, that's all.
Or 3 times, like this month. Yep. All right.
All right.
That's all I had.
I got some open discussion. Our board website, I'm still looking for minutes and agendas on that. Any idea where we stand on having that actually available on the website?
Like the old past minutes?
Yeah, like last month's or months that have been approved, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know about that personally. I know that the clerk's office is working on that. I think that
They're
there's
working on that a long time.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think they're rolling out like a new like a whole new software or something. Yeah.
And I mean, you know, it'd be nice if I could go back and look at some old minutes, you know, to maybe refresh my thinking on things.
Yeah.
I'll remind myself of what we did.
Yeah. No, I get that. I just don't know about it.
Because if you look at the planning boards, like theirs is really
they're
nice.
fine,
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even looked at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up to date.
Maybe, you know, they just need a little reminder.
Okay.
I'll be glad to send a reminder out if you want me to. But.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, you can do that, or if we have Ashley here next month, but that might be more of an Alan thing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Okay.
I think I'll email Alan and ask him where that stands.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
It would be nice, and it's been that same language has been sitting there for a really long time.
Yeah.
We're revamping it.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible if planning can do it.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion. Thank you, John.
That's something for me to do.
All right, so that brings us to the end. So, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Bill, is there a second? Mark, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody. We are officially adjourned.
Have you talked to the Haw River